Good morning, church. It's it's hard to follow that because I personally have the privilege of knowing that couple and really are playing out Jesus. They're doing the work of Jesus. My name is Natul Middlebrook, and my husband Dan and I facilitate the Orphan Care Ministry here at this church. And I wanted to share with you this morning something about a year ago. I heard someone compare the orphan crisis to a river. And for whatever reason, a child gets thrown into this river of orphanhood where he begins his tumultuous journey towards an unknown sea. And us, what is our role at that river? I love it how Orphan Care Solutions, and you'll hear a little bit more about them later, they say not everyone is called to adopt, but everyone is called to do something. Dan and I get to facilitate the Orphan Care Ministry, and we get to see firsthand the stories of the people who have jumped in head first into this river. And we get to see amazing things. We see ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things. We see people who have allowed their love for one child that they don't even know to overcome the fear of the unknown. And we're encouraged by them. We're encouraged by this church. We've taken Christmas wishes for 200 foster care kids and blessed them on Christmas Day. I was recently encouraged by my own life group, led by Stephen and Dee Matheson. They said a big yes to carving out their space at the river by supporting one of the ministries started by one of our artisans at HandUp. I am encouraged, but I know that we can do more. Because in this river, there are 140 million children caught in the rapids. I believe that God has made a promise to the fatherless. And his promise is to protect and defend them. And I believe that he's chosen to do this through his church. So my prayer today, as you listen to me tell you about HandUp Global Goods, is that you would dare to come one step closer to that river and ask God, what is my place here? So HandUp Global Goods, we are at the end of the river. Right before these kids get thrown into the sea where they often get lost, that's where we step in. But we do it in an effort to prevent future children from becoming orphans, from ever having to step foot in that river in the first place. And we do it through this powerful formula: job creation plus spiritual discipleship equals orphan prevention. For those of you who are visual learners, you may want to write that down. It's not a complicated formula. It's job creations plus spiritual discipleship equal orphan prevention. Several months ago, while I was in Haiti, I took out some of our artisans to dinner to reward them for some work, for just being really good artisans. And as we had finished dinner, I asked each young man, how their life has changed since working at HandUp, and all of them had an answer, and they were good answers. But when I got to Martial, he's this timid, shy young man. He boldly thrust his hands forward, and he said, all my life, people have seen the palm of my hands. And for the first time since having a job, people get to see the back of my hands too. That was a lot deeper than I was expecting. And I had to think about that comment for a little while. I imagined Martial as a 7-year-old boy begging for money and food on the streets of Port-au-Prince. He had shared with me on another occasion how he was constantly begging as a 7-year-old boy, and he was constantly getting beat up because whenever he did manage to get a little bit of money in his pocket, it would get stolen. Can you imagine a 7-year-old living a life full of fear? But he's one of the lucky ones. Our partner orphanage, Grand Gu, took him in, and they provided for his basic needs. And they did a great job. But at the age of 18, Martial was looking at the possibility of being back on the streets, and it terrified him. But he has a job at HandUp Global Goods. He gets paid a fair wage through the work of his hands. He gets his health insurance paid for. And the coolest part is that he gets to take place in a transaction-based economy. And that may sound a little like economical, but basically what I'm saying is he gets to take his paycheck and he gets to go buy something with it. There's great dignity in that. And that's what he meant when he said people get to see the back of his hands. But he's doing more than that. He's giving back to his community. And it's made all the difference for Marcial. The second part of our formula, remember, job creation, spiritual discipleship. That's the most important part. There's a lot of organizations doing what HandUp does across the world, and they're doing it all in the name of humanity. But we are doing it all in the name of Jesus, because Jesus is the true catalyst for social change. I like to say, and the girls laugh at HandUp, but I say, what's a little bit of jingle in their pocket if they don't have a lot of Jesus in their heart? And so we instill Christ-centered principles in the hearts of these young men so that they can take all that good that's being poured into them and pour it out into the communities. In fact, we didn't think that we would see the fruit of this labor so quickly. But one of our young men, his name is Max, he started telling me about the children that lived in his village. And the village is named Canaan, and how he was providing for their needs. And he talked to me about it so much that I said, we've got to go there. So I asked a videographer to go and capture Max's story, exactly what he and a few of the other young men were up to. Take a look for yourself.
Marile Emile Mark Chandra. Moment que moi t'ai senti me décourager dans la vie pam, c'est là que papa maman t'ai moins grand moi t'ai moins pas de personne ça. Canaan, c'est une petite localité qui tout près Port-au-Prince. T'es gros monde. Même là, j'ai décidé de dire non, pas prêter la caille encore. J'ai dit, faut mal Canaan. Moi, j'ai quitté Canaan, c'est parce que j'étais vraiment intelligent. Parce que tonton était vraiment jaloux de ça. Parce que moi, j'étais prêcher l'église. J'étais jaloux, j'étais prêcher l'église en tout, mais je ne viens pas mal prêcher depuis là, je venir. Parce que toujours je prêcher, parce que tout le monde est même. Depuis là, ça fait jalousie pour ça. On y a ma vie pour le prince.
My name is Patrick Joseph. My age is 21 years old. Je suis dans la rue, je dors dans la rue, je suis là-dedans, je travaille sur machine. Je suis de l'argent pour mettre dans la poche. Je travaille pas, c'est artisan. Je fais brasser dans l'organisation HandUp Global Goods. Responsabilité dans HandUp, je travaille pour HandUp. En même temps, je suis superviseur HandUp.
La vie était vraiment difficile. Vraiment suffisant. Pendant que je venais dans HandUp, c'est un autre bagage.
Et puis, il fait des dévotions avec elle. Il fait une samba dans la Bible. Il fait la veille. Et puis, il a besoin de la Bible.
Le progrès qui fait dans la vie, spirituellement, que vous mettez passé chaque matin toujours une prière avec nous, et qui fait la femme qui grandit tout, à cause que toujours parler avec nous, enseigner.
On est arrivé à l'étape ça. Depuis que je me suis là, je suis sorti un bon businessman. Je suis là, je viens travailler dans HandUp. Je suis là, je viens dans mon sous-code. Je travaille dans HandUp, je vais aider mon bon parti. Mon capable là, c'est le premier businessman.
Je voulais aider les petits qui ne sont pas capables. Et moi, je voulais aider tous les parents qui ne sont pas capables. Vous voyez petit sur l'école qui ne sont pas capables besoin de manger pour manger, pour tout le monde capable de vivre bien, les gens que tout le monde dans l'étranger vivent, ça que nous avons vécu au pays par moi. Et Canada, vraiment remettre parce que continuité fait là. Et par rapport au petit monde, vraiment remettre là. HandUp, vraiment aidé. Parce que là, qu'il me touche, toujours, comme je touche, on va manger, puis faire une petite provision, on va y aller petit monde, les parents. Ça que m'apprend de mon Dieu, c'est ouais moi que mon Dieu te fait la même histoire Joseph. Fait passer même histoire ça que le fait que yo retirer mon côté m'était faire ouvrir me jeter et puis pendant ouvrir me jeter et moi même encore qui retourner écouter ça que pour venir rassembler monde qui pour me dire on nous lever.
I'm happy to report that since then, Max and Patrick and several of the artisans have built up this ministry in Canaan and also a street ministry in Port-au-Prince. This is what it's about. It's not about us necessarily coming in and saving the day. It's about empowering these young men to be able to lift their own people out of poverty. It's about orphan prevention. Your purchase of one bracelet that they make has the potential to change the life, not just of the artisan, but of the women and children in their sphere of influence. So today we wanted to offer you an opportunity. It's called One Bracelet, One Life. These young men who were once scared boys caught in the rapids of this river have now taken their place at that river because they understand it's going to take them to eliminate this number of 140 million orphans. It's going to take all of us. So I ask you to take out your phone today. We've made this pretty easy. You text to purchase one bracelet for $10. The instructions are up here, but it's 41444, and then you type in OBOL, and I spoke to Pastor Jay. He has given you permission to take out your phone during the service. I know it feels wrong on so many levels, but you can do that right now. 41444 OBOL, and it gives you the option to purchase 1, 2, 3, or as many bracelets as you'd like, and then you can show that receipt and purchase the bracelet outside of these doors. You may ask, what are you doing with those proceeds? Well, we have 10 boys that just aged out of our partner orphanage, and we are providing housing and spiritual discipleship and education, but we just don't have the demand for jobs to be able to offer them a spot on the production line. And so until God sends us the work, we must rely on the church to help support our work. You may be saying, this is great, I can definitely buy a bracelet, but I want a bigger spot on the shoreline of that river. Well, Pastor Jay is going to go through and give you different options on how you can plug in today. I believe we can do this together. Thank you.